So this is day two of finding your inner joy masterclass.
Will there be a day three?
Day one was a washout because Facebook did not cooperate with me. Day one and two comprised all three. I was able to rework it, and all of the information that I was going to share in the 3 days is now compressed into the two. So you're not missing anything.
I couldn't find your website. Can you put it in the chat for me, please?
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let's start off day two. And as we shared yesterday, we talked about trauma and grief, anxiety and stress blocking our inner joy. We talked about cortisol and its effect on us. And we also shared that grace and vulnerability with ourselves is paramount as we heal. So, having grace with ourselves, being gentle with ourselves, being vulnerable with ourselves, and also noticing and observing. And by doing that, we learn about ourselves much better. We shared three practices to combat anxiety yesterday. The practice of closing our eyes, hovering over a stressful situation that we will see come to a positive, successful ending. And we're imagining ourselves 15 minutes after that successful completion of a stressful event. And then we also talked about how we could get the reduction of anxiety and stress prior to by tagging on to habits that we do throughout our day. If we brew coffee or tea in the morning, connect this habit that I will share in a second, connect this habit so that it becomes joined with that habit and you will do it each time you do the original. So I make coffee in the morning. I'm going to imagine how successful my day is, that the ride to work is wonderful and pleasant, and that my projects throughout the day are completed effortlessly. And as we do this more and more, we're actually sending these messages to our brain and rewiring our brain. And then the other that we practiced yesterday was breathing, right? Mindful breathing. So the awareness exercise is where we ended last evening. And I'd like to start this session with the awareness exercise so that we're all grounded in this space and able to impart the knowledge. So if you would like to work with me on the awareness exercise, it is a meditation that I learned from the School of Practical Philosophy out of New York City. And it's a simple but profound experience. And we would practice it every morning at 9 o'clock, every evening at 9 o'clock. And by doing this, we reset our nervous system So let's try it, if you would, please. We can find a comfortable place in an upright seated position if you're able. If you're lying down, that's perfectly fine. Place your feet on the floor. And if you want to put your palms on your thighs, if you want them face down, you'll have the energy that's within. If you face them up, you'll be absorbing the good energy that's in the room. So take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, feel the weight of your body in the chair. And take another deep breath in. And on this exhale, just let go of everything that's happened today. Just let it all go. It'll be there when we get back. Just be right here and right now. And take another deep breath in. And on this exhale, begin to feel your muscles gently relax. A deep breath in. And bring all of your awareness to where your feet meet the floor. Just be right there where your feet meet the floor. They might be in your shoes. You might have your socks on. You can feel the material. But just be right where your feet meet the floor. Now bring your awareness to the weight of your body in the chair. Right where the chair meets your body, be right there. Be aware of the chair coming up to support your body. Now be aware of the gentle pressure of clothing on your skin. And notice how on different parts of your body the pressure is different. Be right there. Bring your awareness to the gentle play of air on your exposed skin. However subtle, just be aware of the gentle play of air. If you'd like to open your eyes and without looking around, take in color as if for the very first time. See color. Don't identify, just observe color. See form and see color within form. See light and shadow, and where light meets shadow. Gently close your eyes. Bring all of your awareness to taste. However subtle, just taste. And smell. Is there a fragrance in the air? Feel the air passing through your nostrils as you inhale. It's cooler on the exhale. It's a bit warmer. Just be right there where the air is passing through your nostrils. Now bring your awareness to listening. Listen to the sounds in your room. The loud sounds, the soft sounds. Just be aware of the sounds in your room. Widen your hearing a little bit. Go outside of the room that you're in to the rest of your home. Listen to those sounds. Widen your hearing a little bit more and go outside. Pick up any sounds that you can hear outside of your home. Listen to the smallest of sounds. Now listen to the silence behind the sounds. This right here, right now, is your one true self. So just rest. Just rest. Just be. Just rest. As we bring this practice to a close, having gratitude for the good company that we're in. Thank you for sharing the exercise with me. If you want to open your eyes and come back to the room, if you want to put in the chat how that was for you, found it helpful. Very relaxing. Good. Good. We have a few new people that joined us. If you wanted to drop in the chat where you're tuning in from, grounding and very calming. Good. Excellent. Excellent. And I've been doing this practice for years. So now all I need to do is feel the pressure of clothing on my skin. And I can go right back into this relaxed state because I have trained my body. And your voice is leading us through was relaxing. Thank you, Nana Jerry. Thank you. All right. I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to kick off the second half of the class. Before we do, if you want to grab yourself a journal and a pen or a pad, just something that you can write with, give yourself plenty of room. There's a couple exercises that I want to take you through that you'll find very, very helpful. So take a minute, grab your pen, paper, and if you want to put a thumbs up in the chat when you're back in, and I'll know. And Sarah's from Baltimore. Awesome. Okay, we've got one thumbs up. We got another thumbs up. And three. And so let us go on. Today, we'll continue to unpack what is keeping us from our inner joy. And again, remember being vulnerable with ourselves, being honest with ourselves, and having grace for ourselves is how we will begin to heal. So, 7 more tools and healthy habits that we can use in our day to day lives to begin to find our inner joy. And as you do these, I loved assembling these pictures. As you do these, speak to yourself as if you were speaking lovingly to a small child, not speaking harshly with ourselves. And just learning to do these, it's brand new to us. So as we practice them more and more, we're going to get better and better at it. We touched on this a little bit yesterday, planning versus dwelling. If we plan ahead of time, our anxiety is going to be reduced. If we dwell on the negatives, we're going to exacerbate that anxiety and it's just going to kick up through the roof. So if we can plan and using that imagination exercise as we imagine the completion, the successful completion of our day, and that what happens during the day is going to happen during the day. And as we practice these things, we're going to be able to handle it better. So a lot of people say, well, I'm too busy. I'm overwhelmed. I'll do that later. Or this won't work for me. Well, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? We have maybe tried everything and have this idea that we're going to fail. But what if you fly? What if one of these exercises, one of these things that I'm going to show you works and it reduces your anxiety and your panic attacks? Get better sleep, eat better, get up and exercise, right? We talked about this yesterday too, but let's go over it again. What you nourish will flourish. If we think in our positive state of mind and we continue to do that, it's so hard to stop the negative talk, I know. I know. For those of you that might have missed yesterday, if you tune in, you'll hear my story. I know firsthand all of these things that I am speaking of and how difficult it is to put into play. But once I did these things and put them into play, I'm sitting in front of you, and 8 years ago, I was flat in the bed for weeks at a time. So, what you feed, if you feed positivity, if you feed feeling well, it will succeed. If we water our roots, the good things that we will put into play here, our trees are going to bear good fruit, right? It's a passage from the Bible if you follow that, and I'm certain that it's in the Torah and the sacred teachings of the Buddha and other sacred books that we can embrace. If we give it life, it will grow. So, one of the greatest things that I have started to put into play is my gratitude journal or a wins jar. Let me tell you what each one is. If you can be grateful for three things a day, and if you do this for, they say 30 days, start at seven. Start at 7 days and keep it going. But write down what you're grateful for. And you can't repeat what you wrote the day before. Three new things that you're grateful for each day. And it can be as simple as I have a bed to crawl into at night, or I have a roof over my head. I have wonderful friends. I'm building new relationships. Okay. And a wins jar is just that. Here is my wins jar. And what I do when I accomplish something, I take a slip of paper and I write the date and I write what I did and look at how many wins I have from just the beginning of this year. And at the end of this year, I'm going to have probably more than 365. But each month I dump this out and I look at it and go, wow, I did that. I did all of that this past month. So this is truly magical. It really is a wonderful tool to capture all of the things that I have done in the month. And it can be simple. Simple things that we do, washing the dishes. Okay? For me, that was an accomplishment a lot of times because I couldn't function or focus enough to do it. And again, being gentle, we're going to find that these things pay off by doing that. So the next one is journaling our thoughts and feelings. So we have the gratitude journal. This is a journal of our thoughts and our feelings. And I always say it's simple, but it ain't easy. So it's a simple thing to do. And if we are able to do it each day, and in the bottom corner, be gentle with yourself if you don't journal every day. Sometimes it's more interesting for me, it was more interesting to see the gaps of when I didn't journal as opposed to what I actually wrote. And I would think back, well, what happened in that week that I didn't get to my journal? Oh, yeah. And maybe write about that. So here's a place that we can put our thoughts and feelings on paper and release them. How many people are journaling currently? Is anybody journaling at the moment? Has anybody done it in the past? If you want to unmute, just go ahead. Sherilyn?
Yeah, yes, I have. I don't know what you had asked.
Have you journaled? Are you journaling currently, or
Yes,
have you done so in the past? Do you find it to be helpful?
yes. I also do the gratitude journal. Um, I listen to Oprah, and Oprah said that you should put at least three every night. So that's what I do.
Excellent. And you don't repeat?
Well, I've been doing it for probably a year, so yes, I repeat, I'm sure by now.
Hey, that is, and do you find that it has been helpful? Has it lifted your outlook?
Yes, it is helpful. It sometimes I get a little emotional from it because I may put more than three. But yes, I find it very helpful.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for validating that. So there's your living proof, people. And so the next one, this one's a little bit more intense, and I'm going to put this up top so you, oh, there we go. So this is called a symptom journal. Okay. And it's important to do this symptom inventory checklist now before you put a lot of these things into play, so that as you practice the techniques that we're talking about, the gratitude journal, I bet, Sherilyn, if you had done this symptom journal a year ago and then reevaluated and did a new symptom journal today, you would see a, an improvement, that what you are experiencing, some people have headaches, joint pain, IBS, fatigue, brain fog, unable to concentrate, overeating. All of these are symptoms of our trauma and grief. And if we can put a value to them, if you look at over the past 30 days, what are my symptoms, and write them on a piece of paper. And then you're going to have a column for frequency, duration, and intensity. How often do you get the headaches out of a week? Right? On a scale from 1 to 10, 10, I get them every day, and I get them a couple times a day. So I'm not getting them as often. And how long do they last? How long do my headaches last? And are they intense? Are they baby headaches, or are they migraine headaches? And when we can see this list and put it down on paper, practice our techniques to reduce our stress and our anxiety, and then go back and do a new symptom journal, I have been amazed to see. I'm not saying this is going to wipe out everything. What I'm saying is it absolutely is a measurable way of seeing that all of these are going to be reduced. So, and because anxiety and stress, it's the mind body connection, and we talked about this yesterday. It affects every system of our body. It if by reducing and eliminating these stressors, you'll be able to see a shift in the many symptoms that you've been experiencing. So before I get to this one, I want to share with you another uh, another exercise, and this is, let me go back. Uh, um, There we go. That's what I. So I am wanting you to write these words down on a column, okay, and give yourself lots of space. So joy. The next line, finances. The next line, career. spirituality, creativity, education, health, sleep, physical activity, home, cooking, relaxation, healthy eating.
What was after cooking?
I'm sorry, I might be going too fast. I apologize. Relaxation, then healthy eating, your home environment, freedom, relationships, social life, self care, digestive health, energy level, mental clarity, motivation, family, personal growth and development. That's a big one. Personal growth and development. One more time, personal growth and development. And last but absolutely not least, love. So, when you've completed your symptom inventory checklist, these words below, uh, the words you just wrote, give them a score from 1 to 10. 10 being amazing, and 1 not so much. And rate them according to how happy or fulfilled or satisfied you are with that area of your life right now. So this one's a longer one. I don't expect you to do it now. We probably won't have enough time for you to do so. And I really want you to think about this one. This taps into what is called the 8 dimensions of wellness. All of these are descriptions of the 8 dimensions of wellness: our mental health, our spiritual health, our environment, our employment, our finances, our relationships. So these key words are going to identify areas in your life, and you're going to rate how happy, fulfilled, or satisfied you are with that area of your life. And again, as we work through these exercises that I'm sharing with you, I want you to go back a month from now and reevaluate that list that you were just writing down. Okay? Now, the next technique that I'd like to share with you all is the creative word, creative writing, or spoken word or poetry. I started writing poetry, and I have never written poetry in my life. And I believe that because I have done these previous exercises that I've described, I am able to allow poetry to flow into me and through me. And I'd love to read a poem that I have written, and I'd like to share it with you. It's called Inner Joy. Where is my inner joy? I know I left it here somewhere. It was right here a moment ago. Or was that when I was 4, 5? It began to fade at 8. Thinking about it, it feels like eons ago when I last saw it, felt it. Life dust happened, covering my inner joy, disparaging comments, crude remarks, unintended teasing, microaggressions, macroaggressions, bullying, hate speech, violence. These words, attitudes, actions, behaviors, oppressions, systemic, institutionalized persecution, hurt deeply, cut me to the bone, belittled, demoralized, demonized. I crawled through life. One day, I saw my 4-year-old filled with joy in the mirror. I paused. At first, I didn't even recognize me. A single tear of sadness dripped from my eye, rolling down my cheek. It carved a canyon into my soul. That single tear turned into 10,000. The flood extinguished the fires of hatred lobbed against me. Self doubt, second guessing me, everything. I reached out in and took my 4-year-old by the hands. Lifting me up, I celebrated me. I had a tea party with me and myself. We talked about life, about what happened. My 4-year-old showed me my inner joy because I deserved. Sitting next to us, joy was there all along, covered, buried, safe but shy, almost unrecognizable. 4-year-old me reintroduced me to me. We had tea together, all three of us, a lot, and became great friends once again. Small, simple behaviors, actions of self care strengthened my inner joy until one day at our tea party, Joy took me by the hand, and together we journeyed through life. And I'm seeing the comments. Oops, Ria, did you get everything? I apologize. Were you the one that had asked? That was powerful. Thanks, Nana Jerry. Ria, did you get everything that I was sharing on the words? Were you the one that asked me to slow down before
Yeah, I
on
got it.
mic?
I got
Okay,
I got it.
good. Excellent. Any thoughts on the poem besides Nana Jerry's share?
It was very powerful.
Thank you. And if we can allow this, thank you, Kahin, thank you. If we allow this to just flow from us, uh, like I don't know, Sherilyn, were you the person who does the journaling? Um, if we just what's the unconscious journaling, just stream of consciousness journaling. There's so many different ways to journal. You can Google that and find different ways in which you can journal. And as we process through our feelings, this came up for me as I was going through this whole development of finding your inner joy. And I was like, well, where's mine? And that's what came to be on paper. So thank you for allowing me to share it with you. The next is art therapy. I was in 2 intensive outpatient therapy sessions. And I am a creative individual. I know that. I fought going to art therapy. I don't know why, but there was a part of my body that just didn't. And then I finally embraced it. And it is so healing to just allow a creation to come to fruition. And you can be creative so many different ways: art, cooking, uh, flowers, gardening, writing, singing, music. There are so many ways in which we can be creative. And I read a wonderful article the other day from the New York Times that was speaking about going to a museum and just pondering the art. And by doing this exercise, we expand our thinking on a larger scale. We can see things in a broader picture, a broader way. So taking a little one to a museum and just letting them be and absorb the art, priceless. The other thing that I want to talk with you about, it's called the Wellness Recovery Action Plan. So this one is really intense. So the Wellness Recovery Action Plan, here's a description of it. It is an actual application that we can do. It was developed in 1997, and a number of people got together that were experiencing serious mental illness, and they were working hard to feel better and get on with their lives. So they came together, and one of the main people that was there was a woman by the name of Mary Ellen Copeland. And Mary Ellen Copeland was in a psych ward, and she was deemed that she would never amount to anything. And she started to have group sessions in the psych ward on her own without clinicians, and just gathered people together and started talking. And they started working on their mental health. And they were speaking with each other and sharing different ways in which they could work towards bettering themselves. And Mary Ellen was able to get released from the psych ward. She was a cafeteria worker in the Pittsburgh school system. And she actually developed a nutrition program for the entire Pittsburgh school system for the kids. Not amount to anything. Interesting. So Mary Ellen and these 12 people got together and talked about what it was that helped them to overcome their anxiety, their panic, their depression, their fear. And I would invite you to check it out. The website is here, wellnessrecoveryactionplan.com. And what it is we map out, just like I had shared with you with the journaling exercises, we map out what do we look like when we're having a good day? And do we know what we look like when we're not having such a great day? And what are the things that we start to do or not do that tells us we need to tune back into ourselves? And one of the greatest takeaways for me was what I call wellness tools. So, wellness tools are I pick my cat up every morning and listen to him purr in my arms before I feed him, or I go for a walk out in nature, or I write poetry, or I listen to music. What are some of your wellness tools? If you want to drop them in the chat, or if you want to just unmute and share, what are some of your wellness tools that you might not even be aware of? Cooking. I couldn't cook when I was not doing well. And as I got back on my feet, I love to cook. Coffee, having coffee with God in the morning, just me and them, and talking. And so, what are some of your wellness tools? And I actually wrote them down. And Shahin says cooking, yoga, gardening, and learning. And the more that we do these wellness tools, it releases endorphins in our body. It lifts our mood, right? People who like to go to the gym or people who like to run, they talk about the runner's high because the endorphins are being released into their system. When we do what we like, and I had to, like I said before, I had to write it down. I had to write down, go for a walk, Tom, or step outside. Just step outside and let the fresh air be in your head. So more and more that we are able to do these wellness tools, the better we become, and the stress and the anxiety get reduced. And Nana says, listening to the birds first thing in the morning outside my bedroom window. And sometimes it's like the day's not complete unless I do these things, right? I read a daily devotion from the Daily Om and from my church. I ponder on the devotions that they send me in emails. And again, the more that we practice these, I have 78 wellness tools written down. There's an app. Of course, there's an app for that. It's the Wrap app. And I have to tune into it and go, oh, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. So I encourage you to check it out.
Did
It's
you see
called
my comment?
Your Comment,
Yeah, the
uh,
reading.
reading, journaling, and going to the gym for a workout.
That's mine.
Is that the one you're speaking of, Ria?
Yeah.
Excellent. And how long do you stay in the gym?
I have a personal trainer I do it 3 times a week.
Nice, nice. And your week wouldn't be complete unless you did it, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Yeah. It becomes second nature, but you didn't do that right off the bat, I bet. It took some courage and strength to get yourself there, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. When I wanted to get back to the gym again, I was just ending my intensive outpatient program. I was in a psych ward. I'll be honest with you. I shared that yesterday. And the individuals there were suggesting that if you can't get to the gym, just drive to the front of it. I'm like, what? They said, just drive to the front of the gym. I'm like, okay. And then see if you can get out of your car and go to the front door of the gym and open the door. This all sounds silly, but let me tell you, if I did these baby steps each time, the further I got. So, Ria, I bet your workout routine has improved exponentially from when you first started. You've been able to build upon it and build upon it and build upon it,
Absolutely right. Hmm.
right?
Yep.
But you didn't get there the first day.
It was harder for me to get it for the first day.
Yeah.
But then I went on doing it and doing it.
And you're seeing the results of it, not just toning of your body, but probably your outlook, your mental outlook.
Yep.
So excellent. I used the analogy yesterday about riding a bike. We don't get on a bike right away and start pedaling away. We we have to have training wheels or try and fail and scrape our knee and get back up. And so that's what having grace with ourselves is all about. So I encourage you, here's the website, the Wellness Recovery Action Plan, and see what wellness tools that you can build into your toolbox. So over these two sessions, we've reconnected with the truth that joy is not lost. It's buried under survival. If you're ready to go deeper, to shift from moments of peace in your life that actually feels like yours again into a life that feels like yours again, then the next step, if you're wanting, is finding your inner joy transformational method. And I offer a 20-minute complimentary heart to heart talk so we could talk about your next best steps so that you could keep this going. You don't you don't have to do this alone, right? This is where I take you from the take what you've uncovered here and build your personalized roadmap to healing together. You'll be held, supported, loved, and guided week by week through tailor-made practices that shift your nervous system and brings back your spirit and your joy. So I do this base finding your inner joy, and from there we can take it to so many places, improving our relationships, working on our career goals, working on our health goals. So once we can unlock and control the trauma, the grief, the stress, the anxiety, once we can deal with that, then we are able to use building blocks like Ria was talking about when she goes to the gym. There's also a safe space that I'm starting each Saturday on Zoom beginning June 7th at 9 o'clock in the morning. It'll be for an hour, and we'll be processing through our trauma and our grief with others. So there are 4 1-hour sessions. It on my website. If you just scroll down one page, there's the sign up link for it there. This QR code, if you wanted to scan it, you can go right to my website, check out my information, a little bit more about me. You can book that 20-minute call. I'd love to chat with you. And I would like to open it up for questions. And if anybody has any questions, I'd like to answer those for you. I know you have questions. Questions are good. There's no foolish question or.
Okay, Tom, I have a question for you.
Okay.
The journaling that you're talking about, I've never done journaling before, but I like what you're saying. Would I need a separate notebook or journal for each of these different ones, or is it like a binder that I put tabs in? I don't know, so I'm wondering how to go about this.
My biggest suggestion is do you, boo. What speaks to you? Don't try to conform to somebody else's guidelines. I found it helpful to have one journal for gratitude and another journal, and it can be just a composition pad. Or you can, graduate and do a nice bound book. You can go to the dollar store and they've got dollar journals, and they're pretty cool. Uh, but I found that having a different journal for different things uh, worked better for me. If you like the binder idea, I like that. I never thought of that, right? Here's all of my journals in one, and I'm going to flip to this section for this and that for that. It's when I embraced my individuality and I honored the person that was within me that the magic happened.
Amen.
Every time I tried to conform to somebody else, how's that working for you, hon? As my 85-year-old second mother, Mrs. McCluskey, says, how's that working for you, hon? Not so well. Do
Okay.
you, boo?
Thank you.
Any other questions? I'm an open book, pretty much.
Yes, I have a question.
Hi.
I
Who
think it was,
who was first there? Sarah, and then I
yeah.
think
Okay. Thank you. I was gonna ask very powerful, insightful and enlightening material. My question is sometimes when I'm like feeling myself coming away from the joy that's naturally within me, I find myself also combating like negative thoughts. Do you have any technique that you could share or provide some resources for when it comes to and regarding like fighting negative thoughts?
fighting of negative thoughts for me was using the awareness exercise and having the ability to be in the here and the now. And by slowing down and realizing that I am here and not in my negative thought, that helped me tremendously. And I found also that I questioned my negative thoughts. Like I would begin to shift. I used the post-it note method. Okay. I've put post-it notes all around my house. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. You deserve. And as I would get these positive messages in my face all the time, it made me pause. That was the other. And that's why I had mentioned if we observe and notice. And it's really tough when we're in that spiral, that negative spiral, to catch ourselves. And so if we're able to, in our good space, do the reinforcing things that bring about joy, we reinforce that. And it is shown that we actually start building good neural pathways into the positive aspects of our brain. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And so again, I find that if I'm trying to stop my negative when it's happening, it's tough. I can do it now only because I practiced a lot of these things and have had the positive affirmations continuing to happen and the negativity is being diminished. So Shaheen says, thank you for the session today. This is very powerful and it needs to reach a lot more people. I need to drop now, okay? And that's why I want to have it recorded. And the other person who had their question popped off, unfortunately. So I will be reposting these. You're able to check them out. They'll be on my website. The link to them will be on my website once I edit the videos. So go back to them. And Sarah, just if you want, reach out to me. So there they are. Yay, they came back. Let's see. There they are. Oyindamula? Mola? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, you're actually pronouncing it correctly.
Thank
So
you.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
I realize that anxiety is one of the things that can affect somebody's inner joy. So I want to ask you, how can somebody deal with anxiety? How can I deal with anxiety?
If you take a look at the recording from yesterday, I spoke a lot and I gave 3 exercises that you can do to deal with anxiety. I'll go over one with you so that you can put it into place. If
Okay.
you are knowing that you're going to be going out of the house and that brings you anxiety and you start to get worked up, or you know that you're going to have a conversation with someone and it might not be a pleasant conversation. So this was something that I learned from Ashley James, and she is a psychologist. She offered this course. Her technique is we close our eyes and we come out of our body, imagine ourselves being up above our body, and go 15 minutes past the successful completion of that event. So if you need to go out of the house and you need to go shopping and that brings you anxiety, close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself above yourself. Float above yourself. Watch yourself do what you need to do, shopping or banking or getting a haircut or what have you, and see yourself 15 minutes after the successful completion of it. This strengthens the pathways in our brain to see that as truth, right? Our subconscious can't tell the difference between what we are imagining and what is reality. Because if you study some philosophers, they're like, all of this that's in front of us, we're creating this reality for ourselves. It's kind of a powerful twist to lock into. There's a couple other exercises that I shared, and tune in to that recording. I'll put that up on my website as soon as I'm able. Does that help? That first
Yeah.
one?
Yes, it does.
And
Yes.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I said it does. It does help.
Good, good. And she says to practice this even ahead of time, and we can feel that our anxiety reduces. And if it doesn't, then we're anxious about something else that we thought we were. Let me see if I can make that clearer. I was anxious about going out of the house, so I saw myself successfully completing it. Well, I might have been anxious actually of getting on the bus or getting in the subway. So it wasn't just going out of the house, it was also getting on public transportation or driving in heavy traffic. So I need to imagine all of the things that I'm anxious for being successfully completed. And Sarah had to sign off as well. And the other one, here, I'll give it to you since we have some time, is I started off this session repeating it. In the morning, I make coffee, right? And that's a habit. You brush your teeth, that's a habit. You get dressed, that's a habit. One of the best ways to continue or to build a new habit is to attach it to an existing one. So I brush my teeth. My new habit is going to be imagining myself going through my day and everything goes well. And this isn't, you hear the word toxic positivity, where we think, oh, everything's roses, it's just wonderful. It is, I did my work, everything happened as it should. I reached my projects. I took care of those. I paid my bills. I was able to come home after shopping. So as we acknowledge these things, we are negating that anxiety ahead of time. I had also said it's simple, but it ain't easy. So I had to practice these over and over until it locked in, right? Rhea shared that they weren't perfect at the gym. They had to keep practicing it. So I hope that helps as well.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And again, I encourage you to watch the replay of yesterday. So that'll be up.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? We're going to open the floor. If anybody has any thoughts, any questions. All right, my friends. So we have a wrap. No pun intended. But I really appreciate you all joining me. It is insightful for me to do this again and again because it locks more solidly into my brain cells each time that I offer these to you all. And check out my website, onmyjourney.org, and you can see more of the information there. So thank you all. Be well. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful rest of your weekend, or wherever you are in the world, it might be morning. And I appreciate you joining me.